film is called Babygirl, one word.
Yes, it
And
is.
it is a 2024 American erotic thriller film, according to Wikipedia, written, directed, and co-produced by Halina Reijn, who made Bodies, 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 which I think Todd hated, but I'd have to go look back at the archives. I remember liking it. I thought Pete Davidson was pretty hilarious in that movie, and I thought it had a clever ending that I still remember. Anyway, Babygirl, it does not have Pete Davidson, sadly. Although wouldn't it be really funny if it was Pete Davidson instead of Harris Dickinson, Terry? I mean, that automatically would make this movie a lot better right away. But the movie stars Academy Award winner Nicole Kidman. She plays a high-powered CEO of a automation company in New York City. Her name is Rami. And at the beginning of the movie, she's experiencing some sexual frustration with her long-term husband, Antonio Banderas. And the movie has this opening scene that I think wants to be really kind of edgy and kind of shocking. I did not find that edgy or shocking. I found it a little inconceivable that a couple married that long would have that sort of issue, I guess, sexually. But hey, I didn't write the movie. The movie basically follows the exact same premise as, I would say, 50 Shades of Grey, except the roles are reversed. This time, instead of a male CEO seducing a young intern, it is Nicole Kidman as the CEO and Harris Dickinson as the young intern, who really, I guess, more seduces her. They have a meet cute on the city street in a scene that seems a little bit lifted out of Closer when Jude Law meets Natalie Portman, although it's not as good as that scene, and it's not like he says, "Hello, stranger." But there is obviously a connection between them that is more than just sexual, but it's also about control and dominance. And the movie, I think, wants to address some issues about BDSM or light BMW with a DMV. That's like what Robin Williams says in Mrs. Doubtfire, but I'm squandering that. Anyway, these two characters have a intense relationship, shall we say. He orders her a glass of milk. Now, I don't know where that ranks on a stick man move, but I don't think that really works. I mean, when you leave that, when the milk was left for Tim Allen in the Santa Claus, that wasn't sexual, right? I don't know. It was a strange sort of thing. But yes, they go to a hotel room in a very long, very protracted sequence that, again, the movie wants to underline, hey, this is sexy. Hey, this is controversial. Hey, this is erotic and pretty intense. And I just never found it that way. Now, listen, I come from the world of Isabelle Huppert, and Emmanuel Bayard, and the movie Natalie ... my favorite 3-dot movie that I forgot to mention. I mean, this movie should have been French, okay? If this movie was French, it would have been a lot more realistic. It would have been a lot more grounded in the sexuality. We needed to have like a Michael Haneke, piano teacher sort of intervention with this movie, or maybe like Swimming Pool, Terry's number one of 03. This movie actually needed to go and test the boundaries of the genre instead of just thinking it does, because frankly, this movie is tame. I could never believe that either of them could do the things that they did. I think Harris Dickinson, his methods of seduction as a stick man, I think you hit that once every. That's like a miracle shot. That's like the double doink field goal that the Bears missed in that playoff game. That happens one every light year. Okay, it's not a consistently workable method. And I think Nicole Kidman is someone who I just couldn't believe, because the movie makes her too sweet, too warm, too sympathetic. This needed to be a hardened woman. Okay, this really needed to be someone like a older Isabelle Huppert, or maybe like a Jennifer Jason Leigh type character. But I couldn't believe really almost anything I was watching in the movie. And to me, the movie it's like just a highbrow version of 50 Shades of Grey. There's so many movies that have done this better, like Fair Play, Closer, Little Children, and Decalogue Episode 6. The movie's very schematic. In the Letterboxd interview with Harris Dickinson, someone asked him to describe this movie in 3 words. He said, state of mind. I'm done, hashtag I'm out. 2 stars, move on.
I completely agree with pretty much everything you just said.
Thank you. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. Let's see here. So Nicole Kidman is sexually frustrated because she's married to Antonio Banderas. Yeah, that tracks. the relationship between her and Harris Dickinson felt forced the entire time. None of it ever felt real, or the chemistry felt fabricated the entire time. And yeah, it just, like you said, it felt tame. Like it was trying to be erotic, but without intimacy. And it didn't work. And I think the only thing that's saving this is I actually think Nicole Kidman and Harris Dickinson are giving pretty great performances. And same with Antonio Banderas. They just were given a plot and a script that didn't live up to what they were putting on screen. And yeah, it was boring. And
it was boring.
I couldn't, which is not what you want to say about a movie like this. You want to find it hypnotic and you know, entrancing and all this stuff, and it was disconnected and boring, and none of the characters seemed to fit together, even though they're all bringing their A game. Yeah, I'm at 2 stars also. It was kind of meh.
If it was put out like 20 years ago, okay, maybe, you know, but I think we've, as culturally, we've gone past this a bit. I thought the methods that they had of interacting with each other, there's just no way that those characters would do what they do in the movie. Harris Dickinson, I'm not sure if he's a good actor. He's great at the monotone voice. I don't think there's anything seductive about that character. I find him really grating and annoying. That's why Pete Davidson would have been a much more audacious pick. And I kind of have to say, you know, Nicole Kidman, listen, okay, I like Nicole Kidman, all due respect, but there have been so many Nicole Kidman movies where, frankly, she's taken off her clothes that have been much edgier. But even if you look at movies like Rabbit Hole and Boy Erased and the Ricardos movie, I mean, they're just, there's something about her that is limiting. I never really got the sense that this was a realistic depiction of a character. The closest this movie got to actually kind of being interesting is in the one scene where the 3 main characters interact. Antonio Banderas is there toward the end of the movie, and he has an interaction with Harris Dickinson, and I thought maybe this movie could have like pulled a Challengers or something, and it didn't, because it's too tame and it's not actually risque in any sort of way. So yeah, I'm at 2 stars, and this is a disappointment. This movie looked cool, and it just failed to deliver.
The dirtiest and naughtiest part of this movie is the fact that I felt dirty seeing it in a Regal and not an AMC.
Yeah, because we didn't get the Nicole Kidman message ahead of time. Yeah.
That's all it was missing. That would have bumped it up nothing. It would have bumped it up nothing. All right. So that's Babygirl. 2 stars from each of us. You could probably skip this one. It is in theaters, and this one finished 7th in the box office.